tradition is pleasure.
Mm.
And pleasure is like almost like a curse word.
Yeah.
And
Don't you say that word.
In certain modern spiritual organizations and practices, it's like you're trying to purify desire and pleasure and all of these things. Yeah. And I like to say, that many people feel like they have to step out on God, like speak out, like I'll be back, God, go have a good time. But our ancestors, they stepped out with intent, they stepped out with their divinity and that spirit of celebration and enjoyment and understanding how nourishing it is and how necessary it is. It's just a part of life we don't want to give up. Of course, we know that everything is weighed by, is it producing order or disorder? So snorting a pound of cocaine is like...
That's his fat. That's not honoring God.
But I want to share this quote from the person in Peru speaking about pleasure.
In the spiritual text?
In the spiritual text.
What?
Yes.
Oh, man, that's interesting.
Yes. So it says, homage to thee, O Ra, in thy beauty, in thy splendors, in thy seats, and in thy plenitude. Thou hast brought the milk of Isis to Teta, and the water of the celestial stream of Nebhet, and power to journey over the great green sea, and life and strength and health, and the pleasures of love, and bread, and beer, and apparel, and everything. So I thought it was so interesting because we know that sex, love, the pleasure of that is a big part of connecting with interior that is trying to, people try to push it down.
Yeah. Till it wreaks havoc on them after. Like you can't push that down.
Right. And we're talking about, when there's a connection, not the transactional intercourse that is very popular in this day and age. But when there's that true connection, that intimacy, that there's a lot of pleasure, that there's a lot of healing there. But I thought it was interesting that it mentions bread, right? So we're bringing in food, right? For food to be enjoyed and a pleasure to be enjoyed. There's also in the Maxims of Ptahhotep. There is also a reference to you're supposed to enjoy, and if you overwork and don't enjoy, that is that's not balance. I think that life is just serious, and you have your discipline when you need it. And you have that pleasure and that enjoyment of life and know that both of them are bringing you closer to interior. It's not one or the other. Yeah. And it also mentioned apparel, which I thought was beautiful.
You're getting fly.
My next point.
Right, can I add something to that point?
Absolutely.
See, the important thing that the person that is being spoken about here, who is speaking, Teta, is very important that if you look earlier in the text, she's described, they wrote Osiris Teta, right? Or Osir Teta. She had the title, a high spiritual title of an Osir.
Right.
And here we have this person is talking about the pleasures of love and strength and dancing and being fly.
Oh yeah.
And they reached a certain pinnacle of spirituality, a high level.
Absolutely.
And they were enjoying life.
Oh yes. Yes. So self-care and love, it fits right in there. I always tell Hekai, listen, when I'm putting my clothes on, doing my makeup, finding my earrings, this is my other qigong, okay? Because we do our energy cultivation practices, and we breathe, and we do all these things, but it is well known, right? I love that meme about how a man actually has a fresh haircut.
How a brother be acting. Why your voice so deep, man?
Exactly. We know that, when our loved ones, our friends, our family aren't feeling well, one of the first things we'll do is go roll up listen, you need to get out of bed, shower, smell good, put on some fresh clothes, let's get your hair done.
Yeah.
These things we know raise our force, raise that energy, raise that, that young energy so that you have the energy. And I know for me, sometimes it's okay, listen, that little eyeshadow just boosted me 50 XP, okay? So just
And it affects the people around you too, you know, and not just because I'm your husband, but but it affects the people around you when you fly. I mean, I've seen the effect you have on people, and you know, I've seen people. You know, we have a neighbor who she was tired when she came home from work, and she saw you come out the house, and hey, oh, you're just so beautiful. Look at that. I'm like, wow, did she just get some? She just got energized, cheat up and G'd up of just how good somebody else looks. So that would be not just sharing peace in the world, as they say for spiritual people. That would be sharing joy and sharing beauty. Look what that did.
Absolutely. So self-care and love is another path of the Ra tradition.
Ooh.
And I know now you're going to share.
Oh, I've been waiting for this moment.